We've a grumpy guide to the 80s tomorrow at 9. I know what made me grumpy, not being able to solve the Rubik's Cube. Anyway, now on BBC Two, our Radio 1 night continues with this from 1987.
Enough already. Woo! I'm getting one of my headaches. Little did I think I'd be standing in front of a Radio 1 logo 20 years on. Thank you. Good evening to all my listeners. That's right, listeners. The Wogan Show has been granted the supreme accolade, the highest award in the DG's gift. We've been broadcast simultaneously on Radio 1. Yay! And not only simultaneously, steady, not too much excitement, even as I speak. It's just for tonight. And the reason for this simulcast is that Radio 1 is 20 years old this week. It's my back, Doctor. And when I hear you cry, no national holiday, no street parties, no ceremonial march past of the brigade of DGs to the tomb of the unknown jock, or Jimmy Young as he's called, no. Oh, this is it. This is the whole shtick. Mind you, they love anniversaries here at the BBC. Anniversaries and repeats. The DG's idea of ecstasy would be a programme celebrating the 20th anniversary of the first repeat, which they would then repeat. Now, in a moment, I'll be talking to the jock who launched Radio 1, Terrible Tone Blackburn. Yeah, but shut up. No, you'll drive him crazy. The days when he was still a shy, retiring, innocent young thing. Going to be a remarkable feat of memory. And the only survivor of Radio 1, John Peel. Oh, John Peel. But before that, the wooden leg, yeah. Before that, today's version of the first record ever played on the new station, 20 years on, with Flowers in the Rain. Welcome, Carl Wayne.
Watching flowers in the rain, feel the
cringe. My hat. And Mother O'Reilly. Pardon? Anyway, we forgot about the false tabs. Anyway, Carl Wayne. Wasn't that great? Flowers in the Rain. All that psychedelia. Now, later we'll be going over to BH, the Fun Factory, for a live look at Radio 1 today. As you can see, every expense has been spared to make this a night to remember. And I'll also be talking to Pete Murray, David Simons, Ed Stewart and Dave Cash. They were all there in week 1. In fact, they're there in this team photograph. Look at that. Gosh. Look at that. That's me. Second from the left there. And the middle row. Look there. It's like the first Holy Communion photograph. All right. But only one of that group is still on Radio 1 today. Along with Tony Blackburn. He's my first guest. So welcome. John Peel and Tony Blackburn.
Sound good.
Don't they?
Good after all that time, yeah?
Terrific,
Wonderful.
yeah. Foot-tapping stuff.
Oh,
Too little of that around now. You remember the beginning of Radio 1, of course.
I certainly
You were
do.
there at the very beginning. You were the first.
Yep, absolutely.
And
Something
so-
I'm very proud of as well.
Yeah.
No matter what they might say.
No, it's
very,
what,
very proud of
it's
it
what you
indeed.
say that worries them. Wait,
No, very proud of it.
what was it like in the early days? I mean, it was the BBC. Most of you... I was the only one who came from any kind of honest, upright station. The rest of you came from a boat. Came from a boat or a fort somewhere. I mean, and this, of course, ran into the BBC's idea of how things should be done a little bit, didn't it? I mean, did they decide to let it all hang out when they brought these jocks from the boats to Radio 1, eh? What?
Well, they were very good. They got Kenny Everett and myself in to help them design the studios and things like that. And then I remember that a lot of the BBC people, it was the Flower Power era, and they were wearing all the flowery shirts and things like that, and all those of us who come from the ships, we changed into suits and things like that, and they all had long hair and we had short hair, and gradually it got sorted out, though. I mean, it was great fun. And the station, I think, when I launched it in '67, I knew that it was going to sound pretty good. I mean, we had the same jingles as the pirate radio station, so it was quite a good sound.
Let's pause a mo and have a look at the very beginning, which was filmed for all posterity. I want you to have a look at this and weep.
Just for fun, music too much.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the exciting new sound of Radio 1.
I mean, I know it was a publicity man or who did it, but to put Robin Scott standing there like some...
Cardboard cutout, actually, I think of Robin
like
Scott.
some spectre at the feast.
Like Sooty.
Yeah, standing there looking tremendously like a BBC man. I remember when
He was terrific, though, wasn't
when
he?
I started in the afternoon, I actually had a producer sitting with me for a long time, for about 2 or 3 years, who used to say, 10 minutes for the next link. All right, you know, quick, wind up when I'd be talking too much and all. You never had to tolerate
I
that.
did, actually, yeah. In fact, the first producer I had is now the controller, Johnny Beerling. He was the first person in there. But I had that as well, yeah. But Robin Scott, he was known as the White Tornado, and he was terrific in the early days. And that morning was a very special morning. That was really great, because we had all the photographers there, and the whole thing went very well. I mean, I was glad it was over, because I thought, well, they were going to record that, and if I'd come on and said welcome to the exciting new sound of Radio Caroline or something, it would have been dreadful.
Yeah. You've taken a porky view of it since, but I'll talk to you about that in a minute.
Okay,
I wanted
all
to
right,
talk to John about, really, you were the most unconventional, because you were doing something rather far-fetched.
but the thing was that...
perfumed garden. You were into frocks and everything.
That's what I say, yes, psychedelic music, there's no question about it.
Yeah.
But I knew I was all right when they got... I was taken in to meet somebody who'd been put in charge of Radios 1 and 2, and I went in there, and I was the last of the DJs to be taken in there and introduced to him. He was obviously very nervous, because he thought I was going to do something unforgivable, like rub drugs into the roots of his hair or something. You know, he was obviously fearful of something. And so we were talking, and I mentioned in the course of the discussion public schools, right? And he sort of, oh, so so you knew somebody at public school? I said, no, I was at a public school myself, actually. And he said, well, somewhere on the south coast, you know, somebody never... And I said, actually, I was at Shrewsbury, Riggs Hall. How's old Brookie? He said. And I thought, straight away, I was in. From that moment on, he said, he may not look like one of us, but he is.
Yeah.
And as soon as they found out I'd been to a good school, it's all right.
You were at a public school as well, you see.
I was, yeah.
There were a lot yeah, you were pretending to be young working class, unconventional.
Aspirant working class.
Yeah, yeah.
He used to, out on the ships, he used to have all those joss sticks as well going
Yes,
on
I
during
did.
the programme.
Yes.
It smelt
And that's not
wonderful,
all, listeners, I'm afraid.
His programme not only sounded good, but it smelt the best of the lot
Yes.
as well.
Well, they said to me when I came over from Ireland, an innocent peasant, just setting foot on this great land for the first time, they said, watch out for John Peel, he smells like the wrath of God.
What can I say to that?
Do they ever... You've been the longest serving. I mean, look at that picture. You're the only one who's still on Radio 1.
Yes.
And you've... I mean, if one was taking bets, one would have said that you were possibly one of the first to go.
This is true. If you'd had to pick somebody off that picture and say which of these brutes isn't going to last 5 minutes, you'd have said, I'll have that one on the end, there's no question.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is that obviously the music that I play kind of updates itself anyway, and...
How do you stay interested in it? I can only say that...
Well,
when I moved, for instance, to Radio 2, I kind of immediately lost interest in pop music because the other middle of the road was what I was involved in. You've obviously been lucky enough to stay it, but how do you continue an enthusiasm for something that is really played by people who are much, much younger than you?
Well, the thing is that if you appreciate, like, the theatre or cinema or poetry or painting or something like that, you're not supposed to drop off at any particular age. So, like, our generation is the first one that had its life transformed by hearing rock and roll in teenage years. And I always relate everything to football because I find it provides handy analogies for most things. And I'm more concerned about what Liverpool do this season than what they did last season, which was a bad season, actually. But, I mean, you know, the season before that, the double and everything. But I'm more interested about what they do this season. See? And it's the same with the music. I'm more interested... I know that when I leave here, and I'm missing the Archers for this, by the way, but when I leave here, when I get to Broadcasting House, there's going to be a big stack of records there, and I'm going to go through those records and change tonight's programme and put them in, you know, because I want to hear the new records. And I hope I always stay like that, because I hate the idea...
You've stayed enthusiastic, haven't you?
Oh, yes, yeah. I mean, I just love broadcasting. I love radio, and
it's showing off, really, isn't it?
Particularly, well, I love soul music now, of course. I mean, I always have had this love of soul music.
No, you didn't. So. You like pop music, and then you moved to Radio London. You decided I'll concentrate on the soul music.
Oh, you liar! You liar! I did the first soul programme on Radio London. Do you remember?
To give him his due, I used to think that Tony here was the Antichrist. I mean, I really did, you know, because he represented everything that I found disagreeable about broadcasting when we first started. And Kenny Everett and I used to get together to try and plot his downfall, whereas now I like to think that Tony and I would probably work to cause Kenny Everett's downfall if we got the chance. That's how things have changed.
Yeah, we get on very well together, and I mean, I've got a great deal of respect for John. In fact, in the article that you haven't mentioned that I did have a slight go, I didn't, in fact, have a go at the DJs in that article. That was added on. I think you've probably been misquoted in the past.
Oh, many a time.
And I do regret that article because I wasn't having a go at the other DJs, and I said some very nice things about John, which never got in either. I did criticise Radio 1, but I think it's a good thing to do that, because from that, they're very good at taking...
Except, yes, of course, but except you are going to be criticised for doing that, because you're no longer on Radio 1.
Yeah. What a mistake, Terry. You were about to say...
No. I was at one with whoever fired you. Who was that?
Yes, you were. I can't remember. I can't remember.
It was Robin Scott, because you used to go on the White Tornado.
That's right, yeah.
Now, look, I know this evening is going to get even more exciting now.
Really?
Yeah.
How could such a thing possibly?
How could it possibly?
No, please.
No, come on. You've got something up your sleeve, have you?
Look, hang on. Goes to autocue. Right. We've been talking about what Radio 1 was like 20 years ago. So we're going over live now by the miracle of satellite to London's West End, to Portland Place, that vineyard of the airwaves, where faceless men toil to harvest the grapes of wreath. Now, waiting there for us... Don't think that didn't take time. Waiting for us there is Mike Smith to show us what they're up to tonight. Over to Portland Place.
Yes, Terry, good evening. You can see the place has changed tremendously in 20 years. I mean, one of the things since you were here is that they've now got electricity. Over here we have got the Radio 1 sponge in its natural environment. Many people queue up to win these wonderful prizes. There it is growing on the seabed. And there's the Radio 1 bug on its holidays on a tropical island. Nobody has seen that picture before. It's a world exclusive. And so's this. This is my card to get into the studios. I put it through there like that and open the door. Come with me to the Fun Palace. Evening. Come with me. One of the things we have these days is a Radio 1 relaxation area for the DJs. We have the fruit machine out here, and of course the Radio 1 DJ dartboard in the corner. This is one of these new pub trivia machines you may have seen. Actually, the answer is... oh, I thought it was Wham, sorry. Over here's the Radio 1 photo memory board. Steve Wright and the geese there from a few years ago. Hi. Hey. Hi. The oxygen chamber's just down there on the right. Well, it's that time of night. Bruno's on the air at the moment, so let's go and join him.
Hi, Mike. How are you? Sorry about the mess.
It's all right. It's all right.
I'll just fade this record out just a little bit here, if you don't mind. Oh,
this is the studio which I use this first thing in the morning, and then Gary comes in at lunchtime, Bruno comes in, and John Peel finishes off, and we all sort of clear up after each other. And we've got to explain how it works.
Well, yes, it looks complicated. It's not really that complicated. In fact, it's more complicated next door. I mean, we've got the turntable here, which is a far cry from the old Dan set. It's quite clever in many ways because it doesn't only go forward...
It's got Terry Wogan above it, look.
It doesn't only go forward, but it also goes in reverse. And the nice thing is it'll stop where you want it to stop as well, hopefully.
So Radio 1 could go backwards for the next 20 years.
Absolutely.
And we're going on to compact disc with jingles, aren't we, this week?
Yeah, in fact, I believe that we are the only radio station anywhere in the world now with our new jingle package on CD. Let's have a quick look at that. There they are. Excellent, huh?
How could we ever afford such a brilliant thing?
Ah, well, you see, it's always surprising.
How does this work?
Well, this is the CD player. There's one of two, of course. These are the professional ones, which allow you to queue up exactly where you need to queue. I tell you what, we'll select one of the 50 jingles on the CD. We'll go for number 5.
You're not going to play a jingle before they're launched?
I might do, can I?
Go on,
let's go for number 5. This is the new Top 40 jingle, actually, because, of course, the new Top 40 starts on Sunday. Have a listen to this.
The official Top 40 in stereo FM, Britain's favourite Radio 1.
There you go.
I love those northern accents in there. They're very good. Listen, we've got Janice Long with us this evening as well, because she's about to go on the air in the next studio in just a few minutes' time. Hello.
Hello, I got caught on a bulldog clip.
Yeah, on the top of Terry Wogan's head. Why is there a bulldog clip on the top of Terry Wogan's head? You are unique because you are the only Radio 1 DJ who's pregnant.
Not the first to have a baby, because Annie Nightingale, of course, has got children, and the ranking Miss P, but yes.
So when's the baby due?
It's due at the end of January, beginning of February, so can't wait.
And you're just going to keep working right the way through?
And carry on, take a break, and then come back.
Well, that'll be nice. Yeah. What about Radio 1 20 years ago? Where were you? Were you listening to Radio 1 20 years ago?
I honestly can't remember. I don't think I was, but I do remember listening to Johnny Walker. I remember him, he was a sort of great influence and made me go out and buy records. He used to play things, The Poacher and Steve Miller and things like that, and he inspired me to go out and spend my pocket money on records.
And of course he's back with us now as well.
Yeah, of course, Saturdays, yeah.
Bruno, were you listening to Radio 1 when it started?
Well, no, I wasn't. I mean, I'd be just 5 then at the time or thereabouts. In fact, my first taste of radio was whilst Mum was running a guest house, and Jimmy Young would be playing... you know, those old hits on Radio 2. Was it Radio 2 or Radio 1 and Radio 2 were linked at that time, weren't they?
They sort of mixed and matched, didn't they? Yeah. We're supposed to be the teenage network. We're supposed to be feeding the teenagers of the United Kingdom. Do you think it's a job we do well?
Well, all I can say is that we conducted a survey and found out who actually listens to the show that I do, and what sort of things that they wanted to hear, what sort of music, what sort of papers they read, how they voted, all of those sort of things. And consequently, we sort of tailor the show in that direction. And that's why we do a lot of features on the show. We might be discussing Nicaragua. Tonight we're looking at the Labour Party conference, or we could be doing a report on racial harassment. And apart from the sort of music they want, I'm scouring the country looking for new bands and playing the sort of music that they want to hear. So from my point of view, yes, I think we are.
How different is a DJ today from what a DJ would have been 20 years ago, apart from the haircuts?
Oh, definitely the haircuts.
They've changed.
Yeah, mine hasn't been cut since the 70s, you probably see that. I don't know, I think there's more to radio than just music today. I think it's a question of entertainment now, and in some ways being a little more creative. Seriously. I think there's just a little bit more than just sort of playing one record, that was, this is, and playing the next, you know.
Just a minute. On his head wants to talk to you.
Just a cotton pick a minute there. See, the implication being, of course, that 20 years ago there was no entertainment on the radio, it was just music.
Yeah, but we haven't got auto-cue today.
That's true, nor indeed idiot boards. And from listening to the three of you talk, you were missing them, weren't you? Yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you for the insight, Mike, and you too, Bruno and Janice. And I've got John and Tony with me, who you've probably seen. And we're honoured and delighted to be part of this whole Radio 1 extravaganza, aren't we? And how good to have a pregnant disc jockey on the show.
Thank you.
My compliments to you, John, and perhaps you'll lose weight later on. But any message for John or Tony before we leave you, chaps and lady?
No, not at all. Oh, you've got... Janet has a message.
Because of all of these television people here, we've run out of milk, so can you bring some in, John?
I will do.
I knew you'd turn out to be good for something one of these days. Yeah. Thank you all three of you. Thanks a lot, Mike and Bruno and Janice.
Thank
you.
Nice
Bye.
to join you. You see, all of that electronic miracle, you wouldn't have been able to do that.
This is true.
20 years ago. Isn't it tremendously exciting? And,
Oh, it is.
And they only put a man on the moon 20 years ago as well.
It's terrific. I mean, those studios are beautiful studios now, and but what they say, and the main thing is the music, and the music's still good, isn't it?
It is,
Music's
yeah.
terrific, and
Well, some of it.
yeah.
Some of it.
But
A lot of it.
some of it was all... I mean, you can't love it all.
No, well, I mean, it would be silly to say... I never say to my son that, you know, they don't write songs like they used to. I mean, my dad used to say that to me, and that's just the most ridiculous thing to say that, isn't it? But I think the music today is wonderful, and as you say, the new electronic techniques with satellite and everything now, it's a really exciting time to be in broadcasting.
Do you think it's moving forward, though? I mean, technologically it's better, but is it moving forward? Or were you disappointed after that blip of excitement with punk? It kind of settled down again?
Well, yeah, there was that, but I mean, there's still a lot of exciting stuff around. You have to look further afield for it. I say I'm not impressed by technology, unfortunately, unlike Tony here, because I don't understand it. Technology leaves me after the toothbrush, you know. I mean, so I just have two turntables and a microphone, and any time I try to involve more machinery than that, I usually get it wrong. So I'm not really that fascinated by the technology. And compact discs and things, I had a compact disc player for 2 years before I eventually found out how to plumb it into the system. And I never use it, you know, so it's... I mean, I just like doing, just like me, a microphone and two turntables. Sounds very romantic.
But radio's better now than it was 20 years ago, because it's faster, it's more precise, and the whole thing is better. And of course, with Radio 1, if you remember, we used to have to share the wavelengths with Radio 2 in the afternoon.
I used to welcome that, yes, because I was the one who shared it.
I know.
So now, I must love you and leave you, but in the meantime, thank you, Tony and John, for joining me.
Thank you very much.
And there's more. We have 4 faces from that photograph for you in a moment or two. Now for some music and real Radio 1 playlist stuff. When this group were last on Wogan, they created a sensation, so it's a pleasure to welcome them back as their latest single climbs the charts with I Don't Want to Be a Hero. It's Johnny Hates Jazz!
And those who return come back only to learn that they're hated by those who they love. 'Cause you're not satisfied to the thousand who died, and your anger is paid for in blood. I don't wanna be a hero. I don't wanna die for you. I don't wanna be a hero. I don't wanna be a hero. I don't wanna die for you. I don't wanna be a hero. Oh no.
I don't want to be a hero. Now, the current holders of the Engelbert Humperdinck Award for the weirdest pop name. They say old DJs never die. They just fade before the Greenwich time signal. Well, my last four guests tonight, they haven't faded yet. They're still good for a quick time check, a weather check, top 20 rundown, dedication for Tracy, and still play the next waxing without walking through the lyric. Looking on a day older, elderly ravers, all of us. Aren't we?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Possibly not a day older, several years. Welcome, Pete Murray, Ed Stewart, Dave Cash, David Simons. Thank you for coming. Thank you. We're still being carried on Radio 1.
Oh, I don't believe
isn't that an honour?
Really?
Here we are on
It's a long
Radio
time
1,
since I
Pete.
broadcast on Radio 1.
When was it last? But you were in that picture.
I was in that
There you
picture,
were.
but I didn't last very long on Radio 1. They put me on Radio 2 immediately, virtually.
They did the same with me about
Yeah.
2 years later, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you? What are you doing, my boy?
Well, I'm down at a little station down in Crawley called Radio Mercury these days, but looking back those 20 years, I was the second DJ to be fired, I remember. The first one, now here's a Trivial Pursuit quiz for you. Who was the first disc jockey to lose his job on Radio 1? You guys remember? Huh? No, he wasn't.
No?
Drunken Duncan Johnson.
Oh, Duncan.
He was
Cracked the clue. Well, that's all right for a bit of litigation, I would think.
No, it was great memories.
Yeah, they used to give him the elbow for, I mean, it's probably a more secure job now than it was, wasn't it?
Who said?
Well, I mean, Dave, you used to work in the afternoon.
Yeah, you took over from me. I got fired, you took over.
Yeah. I always feel that you must have said something. Because it couldn't have been anything I did. You must have said something.
I did. I went to Bernard Herrmann in the NDO.
And of course, you, David, you were, of that picture, the picture we looked at earlier, you were the BBC's man. The others had come from forts and boats. And you were the BBC man. You were the BBC man. But since, I mean, I've watched your career. You've been on 1, then you were on 2 for a while, then you went to America. Now you're back on Radio 4 reading the news.
Well, that's right. And if you go back to the picture, and you notice that rather smart white suit that I was wearing. Hasn't it lasted well?
Pete, you did open house, obviously, for many a long year, and now you're working for LBC.
LBC, that's right, yes. LBC Radio, as it's now known, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doing sort of...
well, I do
settling people's sexual problems, really.
Yes, I'm very good on it.
Man of great experience.
Yes, I'm very good on the sexual experiences. The only trouble is I haven't got any of my own.
On which to draw.
That's right.
Do you remember you were called Stewpot?
Stewpot.
Yeah. Who called you? It was Dave.
No, well, actually, the memories of coming here to your studio is that here we used to do Cracker Jack, didn't we?
Yeah.
See, they all remember.
I haven't got my pen yet.
Have you?
Was it you called him Stewpot, didn't
That's
you?
right, on the ships. We were on the ships one time. Ed Stewart didn't kind of, you know, Ed Stewart. We had Kenny Everett, but Ed Stewart, we needed a name for him. Yeah. And then he did his bit with the stomach and I said, that's it, Stewpot.
I suppose now that you're a serious man of the world and you're working for... Who are you working for?
Well, you wouldn't dare do it,
You've asked me 3 times. I'll tell you again, Radio Mercury.
I'm glad I mentioned
They'll love that. I might get a rise for that, yes.
But yeah. But you can't be persuaded, I suppose.
Well, only if you will with me.
No, not...
Oh, come on. Shall we get Terry to show us how to do the stew pot? Come on.
I can't do this,
Yes, you can. Look.
Well, let's see. Let's see. Come on. Let's see how you do it.
You take your shirt off on there.
May I just say, I don't... I don't really think that goes with the suit.
Okay. So I've just put my mind. It goes very well with the suit.
It doesn't go with good taste either.
No.
Well, you asked me. What do you expect?
Absolutely revolting, I can go say.
Do you regret leaving the BBC?
Not one iota, no, I really don't. And I don't say that with any bitterness, because I thoroughly enjoyed my work with the BBC. But the LBC is a whole different dimension. I mean, I don't play records anymore. I've had some... I reckon that is the hardest job I've ever had in my life. It really is tough.
Keeping people quiet of an early evening or late evening?
Late evening. Well, I'm in the afternoons now. They've put me into the afternoons, as from last week. I'm on between 3 and 5. But, you know, I've covered everything from abortion to politics, which is more or less the same thing, I guess.
Yeah. And you say you work for Radio Mercury?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Dave,
How much are you getting paid for this, Wogan?
Who are you working?
Where
Are
is
you
Radio
working for,
Mercury?
Dave?
I can show you.
Oh, you go. You see?
Right.
You see? Why haven't you got Radio 4 tattooed on your chest?
I cut this off a piece of
You
headed
see, that's the
notepaper
difference,
earlier
if I
today.
may say so, between the BBC and common commercial interests. You have a discreet little badge
That's
here.
right. Yeah.
You're wearing Radio Mercury tattooed in your stomach, and you've got a T-shirt with Invicta on it.
No, but look, he's wearing the tie that he reads the news in. Look.
Yeah.
That's right. Of course, in the old days, after 6 p.m., everybody was required to get into a tie like this. By the way, Terry, I brought you a rose which I've hand-picked from my garden.
Oh, what a lovely thought.
This is a peace rose.
A peace rose.
From my front garden.
How very kind, thank you. I shall wear it in my teeth almost continuously.
Well, thank you so much.
What teeth?
Dave, do you have any bitterness about the BBC?
No, not at all. What's he doing?
He said, what teeth? He's right. Just a minute, I'll put him in and ask you the question again.
Yeah.
I mean, you've gone right round various commercial routes, haven't you?
Capital mainly, 13 years there.
Yeah.
And then Radio West and then Invicta. I don't regret leaving the BBC. I love my time there. But you got to move on. You only get a few years, you know.
Yeah.
You know, Mike Smith, your turn.
No, I disagree in a way. I think radio can go on forever because the voice doesn't age on.
No, not on Radio 1, though. I think you've got to do your Radio 1 stint. How many years do most people...
But do you remember we were talking to John Peel earlier and saying, of all the people in that picture, you would have said, this is the guy who's not going to make it longer than about 3 minutes.
I don't think so, actually, Terry, because when I first posed for that picture on the steps of All Souls, along with all the other assembled gentlemen, I wasn't sure what to do. And I heard John saying on the show earlier that he was sort of scared of the image consideration. Well, I was too, so I got a suit and I had a haircut, and I was a clean-shaven lad in those days. And the White Tornado, as then was, came along and he said, very nice, but bit too straight, Dave, bit too straight.
Look,
so you just can't win.
It would be nice if we could reminisce more, but it's nice that you can.
Is that it?
And we're part of the 20th.
Are you telling me that's it?
Yes, and I would like, as a tribute to the fine work that you've done, I'd like to present you with a dried flower.
Well, how very... I can't tell you where I'm going to put it.
Thank you.